welcome. This is a practice of yoga that's specifically brilliant for helping with mood swings, emotional disturbances, and sleep disturbances. The practice is called Yoga Nidra, yoga sleep, effectively. That's what it is. So Ollie here has kindly laid down and made herself very comfortable. So if you're going to practice this, it'll be about 20 minutes of lying still if you're comfortable. But to get comfortable, you might need to pause this, go off and get yourself pillows. Ollie's actually got a yoga mat underneath her. She's got a soft mat to lie on. She's got not one, but 2 sheepskins underneath her. And her elbows are lifted so she can rest her hands on her body. It's very comforting. She's nice and warm with a scarf. This setup here is what I've got in my yoga studio, but I'm suggesting that you at home might be able to just stick your feet up on the sofa, or maybe get the cushions out of the settee, put them on the floor. You can rest your feet up this way. You can, if you've got a long couch, even lie on the couch and just get your feet up with cushions underneath. The basic idea is that your back is comfy. So we needed to set it up so Ollie's back is comfy. She's feeling all right there. We've covered up her eyes so that it's quiet in there. Probably want to turn your phone off. Make sure you're not going to be disturbed. Or if sleep disturbance is the thing you're addressing, you probably can do it in bed, basically. You can do it to send yourself off to sleep, because at the end, I'm not going to really wake you up. I'll give you the opportunity to stop and come round if you like. But if it happens to be in the middle of the night and you're still asleep, I'll also give you full permission to continue resting in your bed asleep. So there's lots of options. The key thing to know is that you will probably chill a little bit as you lie here. So I brought extra blankets to keep the core of the body really warm. So I'm going to snuggle Ollie up under here, so keeping her nice and warm. And then I'm going to cover her up completely. So you especially want to make sure she's got warm socks on. Clearly, if you're doing this in the summer, this might seem a bit of overkill. But in fact, even in the summer, you get a little bit chilly. So here we go. What we're going to do is tuck in and around her feet. Make sure that's all warm. How's that? Is that good? And then snuggle up under the toes. How's that looking there? Making sure that you're comfortable. And then what will happen as you settle in is that your body temperature will probably drop. It's quite nice to have someone tuck you in, but you can clearly do this for yourself if you like. Are you all right there? Okay, so we're going to pull this one up. Make sure you're all snuggled in. Are you okay there, Ollie? So clearly, once you've settled down, it's nice if you don't really move anymore, but you've got full permission to move as you need to. So if it turns out that you need to sneeze, scratch an itch, have a wriggle, have a wiggle, fidget around, it's all fine. This is your practice. You don't need to look at me now. Ollie's evidently comfortable. I'm going to look after her. My voice will be like looking after you. So you just need, if you're happy, you can close your eyes. You can cover them up. If you want to have your eyes open, that's also fine. But you don't really need to look at anything now. You can just settle yourself down, take a big sigh. There will be the sound of my voice. And there will be the sound also of some bells, some singing bowls that I'm using because they're very earthy and grounded. So part of the way through the practice, you'll hear a few more of these, and really there's nothing to do. So I'm going to keep my eyes on Ollie and mind out what's going on in her world, and create a practice with the intention to promote restful sleep, and also to promote a sense, really our intention is to allow for ourselves to drop down beneath the waves of emotional shift and change that are sometimes quite characteristic of the perimenopause and the menopause. And as we settle down, we can breathe out. And let every exhalation settle you right down into the supports beneath you. So you don't really have anything to do. This is your practice. Welcome home to yourself. So welcome home to yourself. And welcome to this practice of Yoga Nidra, yoga of sleep, in which really there's nothing that you need to be doing We're encouraging you simply with each exhale to drop out of doing and thinking, and instead come into a space just of being and feeling. So dropping out of thinking and doing, knowing that there's nothing that you need to do, and there isn't any way you can do it wrong. There's no way you can do this wrong because there isn't anything to do. So simply being and knowing that just to be here is more than enough, and that everything about you is welcome. Everything about you is totally welcome, and all the sounds that you can hear are welcome, and all the sounds in the room and outside of the room, they are all welcome, and every breath is welcome. Feeling perhaps also all of the different supports that the body can feel. You might be able to notice how the head is supported, perhaps on cushions or pillows. You scan the attention down through, from the back of the head, through the neck and the shoulders, just noticing all the places where the body is being supported by the pillows, by whatever's beneath, by the surface beneath, all the way along through the shoulders and the elbows, maybe feeling the hands resting by your side or on the body. And each place simply noticing how it is just to receive the support which is there beneath you, all the way down through the whole of the spine, through the buttocks and in through the legs. Feeling how it is to be horizontal, you know, the legs that are usually carrying the weight of the body, now the legs can be carried through the support that's beneath the thighs and the knees, all the way along through to the ankles and the feet. And then feeling the whole body is held and supported. And that down beneath on the earth, the whole of the weight of this body is held. And each breath that comes in can really welcome, really nourishing energy with every breath coming in. That's really beautiful as the breath comes in. And then as you exhale, with that little sigh, you can feel all of the support beneath, right down into the earth, down through the floor and down. And everything is held, so you don't have to hold it. You can be held. You can receive the support of the earth beneath. It's nice to take a little sigh and see if there would be anything you could do, maybe even 5% more comfortable perhaps you could get. You go ahead, you do that now. And you know that you're really, really welcome to do whatever you need to ensure that the body's settled and comfortable during the practice. And this intention really here is to settle right down into the ground of being. And in this openness of awareness, which is Yoga Nidra, you can simply welcome all that arises as you receive this rest. You've wisely given yourself the opportunity to rest, and every dimension of being is resting. Through the earth of the physical body resting, and all of the vital cycles and rhythms of life, like the breath and the digestion and the movements in the body, are being nourished by this rest. Every breath out, coming home into yourself. And then simply, with no other intention than simply to receive this rest and to be nourished by it. And let the attention be set free. It's as if the body could rest really quietly, and the mind could carry awareness around the whole of the body and visiting each part in turn. It could welcome every single part of you. And as if in the land of the body, as if the body were the world, you could travel around the world of the body and settle each part into a really nourishing rest. Bringing the awareness, first of all, simply to the resting face, and maybe to the tip of the tongue, resting quietly, and the quiet lips, and the whole face resting, knowing there's nothing that you need to say and nowhere that you need to go and nobody to please. Nothing that needs to be done. Letting the lips and the tongue rest and the two cheeks. And feeling a quietness in the eyes and welcoming all the sensations. All the sensations arising in the eyes as they rest, in the right eye and the left. And over to the left eyebrow and the right. Feeling a quietness there across the forehead. Welcoming, 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 welcoming all sensations arising in the forehead and maybe into the right temple and the left. Letting the awareness travel into the scalp and the head. And know that the whole of you is welcome just as you are. The whole of you is welcome just as you are. Every hair on this head is welcome. Nourished by rest. Nourished by rest. The awareness travels through the whole of the back of the head and the scalp and maybe the ears, welcoming all the sounds that can be heard, welcoming all sensations in the outer shells of the ears. And welcoming the sounds as they move through the air and enter the right ear and the left. And the left ear and the right. And aware of the little space between the two ears and the back of the head. And all the way along through the back of the neck and into the jaw. The whole face resting. Quiet ease and rest and welcoming all sensations arising. Welcome home to yourself. Welcoming through the back of the neck and the throat. And all the way through the right side of the neck and the left jaw and the right, and through the chin and the throat, and into the right collarbone and the left. And from that space between the collarbones, bring the awareness up to the tip of the nose and to the space between the eyebrows, and in these spaces just welcoming the presence of rest. Between the two eyebrows and at the tip of the nose, right nostril and left. Back to the tip of the nose, all resting. And from the tip of the nose down to the tip of the chin, and back to the little space between the two collarbones, right collarbone and left collarbone and right, as if great waves of rest would move through the shoulders and the armpits, down the sides of the neck to the shoulders and the armpits. Right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, left armpit and right. And down through both upper arms into the elbows, welcoming all sensations arising in the forearms, and down into the wrists and the palms of the hands. Welcoming all sensations arising in the palms of the hands and the backs of the hands. As the hands rest, nothing needs to be done. Resting hands. And the tips of the fingers and the tips of the thumbs. And all of you is welcome to rest. Welcome to rest. From the fingertips back up to the elbows. From the elbows into the armpits. And then all the way down through the chest. Every rib is resting. And all the spaces in between the ribs. Left ribs. And the right ribs. And all the way through into the chest. Beneath the breastbone. Right side of the chest. Side of the chest, and the space all the way behind the breastbone, letting all of the whole of the chest rest as the awareness settles into the belly all the way through. Breath coming in, breath going out, all the way through to the lower back, nourished by rest, welcoming rest in every part of the body, through the buttocks and the pelvis, and every part of you is welcome. All the way along the legs, through the thighs, right thigh, left knee, right knee, shin, calf, left calf, right shin, left ankle, right ankle, all the way through to the soles of the feet, and a gentle sense of settling through the tops of the feet and the tips of the toes and all the spaces in between the toes. And in this openness of awareness, which is Yoga Nidra, simply resting, welcome home to yourself. Welcome home to yourself. Welcome home to yourself. Welcome home to yourself. All that arises in this moment is welcome, settling down beneath all of the sounds, settling down on this earth. Welcome to be just as you are, and welcome to rest. Welcome to rest. And in this resting space, in this openness of awareness, which is Yoga Nidra, just to be is enough. To be and to receive support from the earth beneath, through all of the presence, the surfaces that the body is resting upon. Let every exhale settle the body deeper down into a nourishing rest, as if the whole of the back of the body is settled right down into support that can be received. And every inhale, welcoming a really nutritious presence of breath, nourishing every part. Moving between these two forms of awareness, feeling the whole of the earth beneath at the end of the exhale. And feeling the whole of the nourishment of the air coming into the body on the inhale. Simply being, noticing the body resting. Noticing the body resting. And being aware that as the body rests, the mind can simply observe this resting, so the body actually might be asleep. Maybe parts of the body are asleep, but the mind is just watching this resting. And as the body rests, maybe both these two things can happen at the same time. So it's possible to be asleep and awake at the same time, so that the body is resting and the mind is alert, as if the mind is awake and the body is asleep. Being resting and being alert at the same time. How's that? Letting go of this little game, just letting the body continue to be in this resting place. And maybe now allowing the mind simply to settle its focus upon the breath. And let there be a little sense that every breath could be noticed. That every breath could be noticed. And each breath could simply bring the attention to different parts of the body, and let each breath be counted. So maybe you could simply, if it feels like a good idea, let the awareness rest just at the eyebrow center. And let the breath just move in the nostrils, as if there was like a little pair of channels of breath moving down in a little triangle from the top of the nose to the nostrils and back up, exhaling down and inhaling up. And perhaps with this focus on the gentle movement of breath in the nostrils, you could just notice the next 9 breaths, counting down, so that the next breath could be number 9. On its way out, there would be breath number 9. And then as the breath came back in, be ready for breath number 8 to leave. And so on, counting down with each breath. Doesn't matter if the count goes astray. Perhaps as you count down towards 0, you might need simply to let go of the count or start again. Doesn't really matter. The main point is just to feel the breath in the nostrils and let that breath be counted. As the body rests. And then just leaving off that counting. You just feel the breath moving now in the throat. So if you could just notice the breath in the throat there. And feeling as the breath came and went at its own easy pace. That again, there could be a counting of each breath. Just noticing the little movement in the throat, just like that. That's perfect. And again, letting there being a count. So the awareness would travel to the throat and letting the next one maybe be number 9. And each exhale counting down. As the breath leaves, counting down. And if the count goes astray, it doesn't matter. And if you don't feel like counting, it doesn't matter. You're simply noticing the breath in the throat. Coming and going. Very gently receiving these easy breaths in this openness of awareness, which is Yoga Nidra. And then maybe simply feeling now, as the awareness travels with the breath, you could just leave off any counting. Leaving off any counting and just letting the awareness travel down into the space behind the middle of the breastbone. And as the awareness travels there, it's almost like there could be a little pathway of breath, breathing down each time from the throat into the little space behind the back of the breastbone. Maybe breathing in and up to the throat, maybe breathing out and down behind the breastbone, and maybe there could be another count there. Just resting is more than enough. And if the count feels welcome and easy, you could also count maybe the next breath down from the throat to the heart would be breath number 9. You could continue with each exhaling breath, breathing up into the throat on the inhale and exhaling down behind the breastbone on the exhale. until perhaps the count comes down to 0, or perhaps not. It really doesn't matter. The count feels welcome and easy. And whatever pace the breath comes at, you can let the awareness travel in this way as the body rests, as the body rests, as the body rests, until it feels maybe that all the way down the whole of the body the breath could travel, all the way from the heart down into the belly and back up, just letting each part of the body receive the awareness. And if it feels easy to let there be counting, let there be counting. And if that doesn't feel like a good idea, it really doesn't matter. You can simply feel the belly rising and falling with the breath. And every exhalation taking the awareness down into the belly. Maybe letting that awareness now beyond all time and all counting carry its way right the way down to the root of the body, right at the pubic bones, and maybe receiving a little resting awareness. And down in the pelvis, as the whole body rests. Gentle movement of the breath, welcoming all that arises as the awareness travels on down from the pelvis, through the legs, to the soles of the feet, as if now the whole body could be breathing. All the way through, just like that, letting the body rest. And as the body rests, simply being is enough, and receiving the nourishment of rest. And if it seems now as if continuing to rest or to let the body sleep here is just the perfect thing, then by all means continue to do that. Continue to rest. Restful being. But if it feels as if now is the time to awaken, then slowly let the breath get a little bit louder, as if now the whole body could reawaken. The whole body could reawaken with a gentle sigh. And whether you choose to continue to rest, maybe letting the body sleep, or whether you choose to reawaken, you can carry within you the deeply nourished feeling of being rested. And that nutritious rest can be a presence with you even as you awaken. So if you are choosing to awaken now, you can begin to wriggle and stretch. It's quite nice to take your time and maybe start with some really small movements, perhaps just around the tongue and the lips, and maybe with a slightly louder breath. You can stretch out through the face and wriggle through the jaw just like that. And And sometimes it's nice just to welcome the fingers back in, touch them each to the tip of the thumb, and stretch and wriggle as you need to, knowing that if the time and space permits, you can always just roll over and go back to sleep. But if the time and space requires for you to get up and about your business, you can do so safe in the knowledge that you are restored to equilibrium. Your vitality is nourished, and everything might go a little bit smoother as you stretch out and wriggle. Have a lovely big stretch. You might want to hug your knees up in towards your belly or rock a bit from side to side, whatever feels comfortable. And as you do that, you can slowly begin to reconnect with the outside world. So a yawn is a really good way to do that. And if you've had your eyes covered up, you might want to sense that you can awaken. Got some nice earthing charms and chimes here. So welcome back, and thank you for listening. We trust that this experience of total yoga nidra can go with you. So every once in a while as you go about your business, you sort of wake up to yourself and go, I truly am that openness of awareness in which everything arises and dissolves. So when you emerge, you might want to keep your eyes closed and then rub your hands and give them a good rub. And then when your hands get warm, you can put them up, cover them up over your eyes so that you can warm them up. It's quite important to get a bit grounded. So if you're coming to and going about your business now, you probably want to do some things like maybe rubbing your hands and pinching your ears is a good thing to do. If you want to pull your ears, that's it, and it kind of wakes you up. Yeah, so you have a big yawn. Pinch your own cheeks a little bit. That's good. That's it. And have a big open your eyes and stretch like very surprised. Oh my goodness, the world is still there. Lovely. Thank you very much. And thank you for practicing. Make sure you're fully grounded. Hydrate. A little bit of water in. A little bit stretched out. Make sure you're fully present before you get into a car. Drive anywhere. And go rested and go well. Thank you very much for listening. This is a practice of total yoga nidra. Lovely. Thank you. All done. It's quite nice maybe to make sure that you do actually get up. Yeah. So a good way to do it is just gently roll over to the side so that you can you want to come up easy. That's it. Yay. So we know you're actually fully alive and awake. All right?
Yes.
Rested?
Yeah.
Good.
Wonderful.
Good. Thank you.